Hello, I'm Dr. Ann Gillies, and I recently posted a video on conversion therapy bans in Canada. I want to just bring a little bit more light to that. So let me just bring a bit of a recap of the last part that I talked about. I was talking about Dr. Lisa Diamond, a predominant researcher in the area of same-sex attraction and gender fluidity, sexual fluidity. And she has said that it's not scientifically accurate to describe same-sex orientation as immutable. And why is that? Because immutability means unchangeable. And what she has discovered over years of research is that sexual orientation, sexual behavior is vastly flexible and is indeed fluid. It's not like, it's not biologically based like eye color and skin color. There may be some genetic predisposition, but it's minimal. Sexual orientation, she says, are awareness mediated. That means having sexual orientation requires a mental state. You have to think about it. You have to believe something about yourself. You have to have certain desires that you focus on and then decide to act on. So the dilemma is that science supports fluidity and flexibility of sexuality, but the problem is that we're now only allowed, according to this ban, to promote the science of flexibility in one direction. It's totally biased. We can only help people who want to become gay. Someone who has unwanted same-sex attraction is denied service, will be denied service in Canada. And it's not only therapists that are being pointed out and attacked here. It is pastors and church leaders and different organizations, ministry organizations that have helped people for many, many years. So Lisa Diamond also says that we need to put to bed the born that way myth. So what about the rest of the academics? When are they going to start repenting? When are they going to start saying, hey, we spread a lie for 40 years? You know, many of us within academia and certainly within the general populace never really believed that homosexuality was biological. But over the past 40 years, because of media and activist representation, we've just come to, believe everything we've told. So we need to reevaluate some things here, and the academic world needs to come to attention. They need to start taking responsibility for actually contributing. They've actually promoted, it's more than a contribution, the whole issue of Born That Way, which is an outright lie. So why would anyone want to leave the LGBTQ community? Well, first of all, there are very high levels of mental illness within this community. You say, well, what's leaving going to help with? Well, many that have actually had some sense of therapy, been to some kind of therapeutic counselor or even a pastor, some go to the pastors, and talk about their unwanted same-sex attraction. They actually have greater self-esteem. They come away from therapy feeling better about themselves. That's number one. Less suicidal ideation. There's all those kind of things that can help someone. And in the course of therapy, sometimes they just want to leave because they start feeling mentally better. And then they often recognize that there have been other things, contributing factors. So one of those things is when there's sexual abuse by someone of some same sex, so adult male sexually abusing a boy, their sexual development is delayed, their self-esteem and self-concept is disrupted, and these boys, these adult men, talk about how flawed they felt after that experience or multiple experiences, which is often the case. So childhood sexual abuse leads to PTSD and complex traumatic stress disorder. It also leads to great emotional dysfunction, dysregulation. So the problem is, though, that the symptoms that are identified in the LGBT activists' contribution to the conversion therapy ban are actually the same symptoms that are identified in childhood sexual abuse. Exactly the same. It's Very interesting. These identified outcomes of conversion therapy bans are much deeper than just therapeutic abuse. But who's looking? No one's looking deeper, because professional researchers are really, they have their hands tied behind their backs because they can't get grants to look into this stuff. They are intimidated. They are threatened with job loss. It's horrible. Anyways, so why else would someone want to leave the LGBTQ? Well, because there is high relationship abuse in this community, very high relationship abuse. So there's 13% of these individuals who have same-sex partners record sexual abuse. 44 have experienced physical abuse at the hand of their same-sex partner. These are in kind of committed relationships, whatever committed means to those people. 45% have experienced threat from their same-sex partners, and 83% have experienced emotional abuse from their same-sex partners. There's more stats. I have that in a paper that's coming out shortly. So if these things happened in the heterosexual community, would we not be outraged? Would we not be doing something? Absolutely. So what else is a problem? Well, STDs and STIs are on the increase. So in 2004, actually, a study that showed, it's Centers for Disease, showed that men who have sex with men account for 83% of new syphilis cases. And men who have sex with men also, since 1985, have seen a 35% increase in gonorrhea. There is an HIV/AIDS upsurge among our youth, particularly between 13 and 24, 13 years of age. This is so sad. 21% increase. Why aren't we doing something? No wonder people might not want to stay in that community, and maybe they want to leave, and maybe they decide, I don't want to have same-sex attraction anymore. Let's do something about it. But here's my final stat for you. 1/3 of all gay and lesbian individuals are substance abusers. 1/3 of this population. Now, it's a very small percentage of the population. Historically, up until about 2012, the LGBT accounted for under 3% of the population. It's growing. It's growing with the millennials, but it's still only at 8%. And yet 1/3 of them are substance abusers. Houston, we have a problem. And what are we doing about it? We are not allowing people to get help. We want to help them in one area. We want to get them into drug and abuse programs. Oh, well and good, but we're not dealing with root issues. And we're not allowing them to talk about unwanted same-sex attraction. That's disgusting. That is totally unfair and totally biased against a small percent of the population. Thank you for listening.